Who will be the fall guy for the Giants not hitting? We'll talk about that and much more here on the Put on Giants podcast.
Lee hits a high drive to right. It is out of here.
And welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Put on Giants podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting on the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSB, my Twitter handle, so check me out there. The Giants, they win today. The road trip went as such. They took 2 out of 3 from Washington, lost 3 straight to the Tigers, and it just in close games throughout those 3 games. So there's really a tough situation there. They go to Florida. They should have swept this series. They lose 1-0 in the middle game of the series. They won the rubber match 4-2 on a home run by Matos. So Matos had 2 hits today, so I would almost expect him to play right field tomorrow against the Padres. The Padres come to town to face the Giants. They're going to be 4 games in that series, so the Giants didn't fare well against the Padres the first time. So now it's time for the Giants to actually, if they walked away from a split in this series, you'd be happy with it, because at the end of the day, like, the Giants have not hit the ball well at all, and they are on a historic streak as far as their runs scored in the last 14 games. The Giants have had 14 straight games of 4 runs or fewer for the first time in a season since a 15 game streak in 1976. The only other streak longer since moving to San Francisco in 1958 was a 19 gamer where they had 4 runs or less in 1965. So it's getting to historical levels here as far as what the Giants have not done at the plate. They went through the month of May where they could have been easily, a good 12, 13, 14 games over 500 if they just were decent at the plate. They weren't decent at the plate. They were horrible at the plate, and they ended up not performing at a high level at all. So that's just that's just terrible as it is. I mean, these pitchers are the pitcher. I think the Giants also led the National League, or sorry, led Major League Baseball in team ERA during that month of May. So that's another thing that is just not good for the Giants. That they kind of wasted that month of May. I think they went 13 and 14, where they could have been much better than that. They just did not score runs, and they can't score runs. And I think I think a lot of it is a lot of different things, a lot of different aspects of it. But I think one thing about it is, whether it's fair or not, and when it's not, life isn't always fair. Whether it's fair or not, you got to ask yourself, they hired a hitting coach who was a major league hitter, who was a good home run hitter, but doesn't have experience being a hitting coach at the major league level. Pat Burrell doesn't have any of that experience. So you have to ask yourself, is this like the nepotism of like hiring my boy instead of getting an experienced guy in here? I think the whole torture thing with the Giants was really cool, and the whole torture thing with the Giants was really fun back in the day, but now it's not. Now it's definitely not fun at all. It's grueling. It's grueling on the players. It's grueling on the team, and it's just like when you're watching these games, like, it's not fun to be like, okay, somebody hit a 2-run homer in the 5th inning against Logan Webb, and you're just like, and you think the game's over because the Giants gave up 2 runs. Like, that's not a way to live as a baseball fan, and that's not a way to live for a baseball team. And some of the approaches to the plate have been like just absolutely just embarrassing. Like, I don't know. I mean, they really. I mean, listen, we can sit there. I know strikeouts were coming when they signed the shortstop. I knew when Willie Adames came over, the strikeouts were coming. But if you go through his splits month by month for his entire career, this is not who he is. So like there's something so like if I'll say this, if these guys didn't need coaches, coaches would not exist on every team. If these guys didn't need coaching, they would not have coaches on every single team. They need coaching, the Giants do. And just like every other team in baseball does. So what they're doing with the Adames, what they're doing with what kind of hitter is Tyler Fitzgerald going to be? Should he be a guy who's trying to swing for the fences, or should he be a guy who is trying to hit singles and doubles and utilizing that speed? What's going on with with Lamont Wade Jr. Maybe he's done. Maybe it's really over for him. But I mean, but it's he's never been this bad. Like you can't like when you're. I mean, this could be a bad streak, or this could be who they are going to be for the entire season. And that's what you're really afraid of if you're a Giants fan. You don't want this to be the entire season. You don't want this whole thing to be, hey, this is what the Giants are going to do for the entire year. Just be this. They have to win games 2-1, because one thing we know, for as Giants fans, is that is not sustainable. Not in the least possible bit is that sustainable. It ain't sustainable at all. So, they got to wake up. And you always look lethargic and slow and everything like that. Even a guy who like Willie Adames, who plays with a huge smile, plays with a huge grin on his face, is the happy go lucky guy on the team. This is wearing on him. It's wearing on him badly. You can see it at the plate. You can see it after every ground out, after every strikeout, after every lazy fly ball to the opposite field. It's wearing on them. So something has to happen before we lose him for the entire year. Like they cannot survive without him being Willie Adames. I mean, Willie Adames only has one more home run than Luis Matos. He only has one more home run than him right now. I think he has five, and Matos said we hit one today, and that's four. So Encarnacion should be coming back soon. I mean, I'm not going to treat him like he's Don Baylor, but I mean, he definitely had to add some power to the potential power to the Giants lineup. Now, what do the Giants do when they get Encarnacion back? Is he playing left field? Is he playing right field? Is he playing? If he obviously he's not a first baseman. Is he? Are we just going to DH him and put Wilmer Flores at first base? Because that's what I would do. That's what I would do. I want to ease him because he was hitting the ball, you know, in spring training, at a crazy clip, right? Then he got hurt in the outfield, sliding for a ball. So I would say what I would do with him is I would definitely probably DH him just to come back right now. Let's take it slow. Get that bat in the lineup. Hopefully he can give the Giants some extra base hit love because they need it so badly. But this is like it's just frustrating to waste great pitching performances. The Giants pitching staff has been absolutely incredible. It's been incredible this year. You can't like you can't even talk about it. Like it's been really really good all year. So you don't want to see all these things get wasted here. Like you just don't want to see it. And I think that's the biggest thing as far as the Giants goes. Like you don't want to sit there and continuously um waste these opportunities you have to to um to score runs. I mean, some of these innings are just brutal. And then you also have, Bob Melvin. I mean, you cannot, when I think when the Giants have a situation where, they had the what was it, second and third and I think they had nobody out. And then you have Fitzgerald on the bench. You have You can't let. I mean, this love affair with Huff can't continue. Like, you know what I mean? Like Huff can't be taking bats away at bats away um, from from Fitzgerald when runners are in scoring position. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, that whole inning against the Tigers was brutal. That whole like inning where they couldn't tie the game, they couldn't go ahead. They had all the opportunities in the world to do that, and they couldn't do it, and that was just brutal to watch. But if they want to, they have a team that can contend. If you get the Giants, if the Giants can just be a decent hitting team, which is like they're at the bottom. They're really bad right now. You have to sit there and say to yourself, they can be a threat in any series because they can pitch like crazy. There's arms all over the place. They have quality arms in middle relief. They have quality arms in the end of the bullpen. They have quality arms in the starting rotation. So this is not our usual like, hey, we won a series. Hey, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is great. No, this is like this was a road trip that the Giants should have won this one. They should have won every game. They should have won every series on this road trip. But they couldn't do it because they could not get it going at the plate. I mean, you kind of gotta leave Ramos in that on deck on the in the leadoff spot. You gotta kind of leave him there. But I mean, I know he's trying to move people around, but at some point, people are gonna start pointing the finger like, yo, did we really hire somebody? Did we really hire somebody to be a to be a head coach? I mean, to be a hitting coach who doesn't have a lot of experience. That's a huge thing. Somebody just texted me, just want to see like, hey, I'm talking about this. So what are you gonna be talking about JP Martinez? I mean, JP Martinez, he has more experience. So like he has more experience. So than his offensive counterpart. Like you have to be able to they have to get better at the plate. I mean, some of the approaches have just been absolutely just brutal. JP Martinez spent 6 seasons working in the Twins organization, most recently as the club assistant's pitching coordinator. So that's where he came from. If we want to go to, you want to go to, you know, we're going to Pat Burrell. I mean, it's somebody. It's going to fall on somebody. I'm not calling for heads because I respect the fact that the hardest thing to do in sports is hit a round ball with a round bat. And if I could hit a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, I would not be sitting behind a microphone. So I totally respect it. But I think part of the whole thing is like the Giants can be better at that. I mean, that is just it's just really it's really just like it's brutal. It's literally brutal watching them at the plate sometimes. And like, but there's things you can do, like, when you watch other teams, when you watch other teams, with maybe comparable talent to the Giants, they just have better approaches to the plate. Like I mean, it's about approach. You get all the hitting in this era should be better because you're getting way more information. Maybe it's too much information about these pitchers. You're getting a lot of information. Like they are, they are you that iPad is full. Like you can go count by count. What does he throw? 2-1. How is he throwing? They can break down. The video guys can break down every single at bat you've ever had against somebody, and boom, it's right there for you. But this is a huge series, and listen. As long as that streak is going to be, as the Giants are 18-2 when they score five runs or more. So that's pretty dominant. But they have to get to that 5 runs, and it's not going to be easy against the Padres. So they gotta start going to work. And like I said, it's going to it might not necessarily be fair, but it will fall on the hitting coach. Now we don't know who's pitching for the Padres tomorrow, but we know Logan Webb is going for the Giants. Logan Webb is not. I don't. He's not great in the division. So, that's a game where this is a game where you're gonna have to score some runs to help Logan. Help Logan Webb. He doesn't pitch great against the Padres, or doesn't pitch great against the Dodgers. Let me see if I got any more starters for you in this game. I know we got Webb, and we got Webb in that game. Let's see who we got in next game. We got Roop. So Webb, Roop, Harrison, and Ray, and you start off this series. You got two. I mean, listen, the starting pitchers that we can name them all. They're going to get good starting pitching in this series. So hopefully the Giants can get the bats going, because the bats need to get going. I mean, it's been tough to watch. It's been dog shit. It's been bad. So hopefully they can get that thing going as well. Hopefully, I mean, right now it looks like, maybe Luis Matos has a hot bat, so maybe he plays right field. But I would think Encarnacion would definitely come in and play right away if he's available on Monday. All right, Giant fans. Talk to you next time. Well, I'll try to go on. I'll try to get on. I'll probably try to get on after game 2 of the Padres of the Padres, so we can talk about the first 2 games of the series, and hopefully the Giants can at least split this series. I mean, it's really important that they start beating teams in the National League West. I don't count. They haven't played great against the Diamondbacks. They lost series against the Diamondbacks, and they lost the series to the Padres already. Haven't played the Dodgers yet, who are just mopping up the Yankees this weekend. So it's very important that the Giants get this ball rolling in the right direction. All right, peace. Go Giants.